done a miraculous job of helping me retain my vision.
Then I met with Dr. Rosenfarb one-on-one, and we discussed my treatment plan, which and the progress I'd made during that 2-week visit. And I made a lot of progress. My vision improved by 33%, and my field of vision improved by 35%, which was amazing to me. It was like a miracle.
Hi, my name is Elaine Sacco. and I have macular degeneration. I have been coming to Andy for approximately 4 years, and in that time, every time I come, I notice an improvement. When I go to my regular eye doctor, he says to me, whatever you're doing, keep it up. I have had it hasn't gotten worse.
And ever since I've been coming with Andy, I've not only stabilized, but I've gotten better. So I'm really, really happy, and I really love coming here. It betters my complete condition. But mainly, of course, I can read. I can read the paper with glasses. So I really believe in this.
First of all, is there anything we can really do about presbyopia that makes sense in your practice?
Well, Dr. Oz, the good news is there are things we can do. We can actually exercise the muscles of the eye, because the eyes have muscles that help us focus, just like we could exercise any other muscles in our body we can do eye exercises that can help strengthen to help us focus better.
Dr. Andy Rosenfarb here with AccuVision Acupuncture. Tonight we're going to talk about something very interesting and relevant: screens. So stay with us as we talk about how they could affect your vision. So as you guys are joining us here and we see people coming in, let us know in the comments where you are joining us from. Love to hear from you. So let me get my screen share going and we will start this presentation. Share. Okay. Let's do this and boom. Start from beginning. Fantastic. Okay, guys. So again, Andy Rosenfarb here. The title of tonight's session is Screen Technology Stealing Your Sight. All right, very, very important topic. Why? Because as you guys are watching this right now on screens, we are using our laptops, our desktops, our phones, our tablets, all TVs, right? We have a lot of screen devices and we're using a lot of screen time. So the problem with this is that it can affect our vision and in a negative way. And we're going to talk to you tonight about not only how that happens, but what you can do to protect your eyes against the potential harm of screen stress. So without further ado, let's move forward. So the problem, as I just stated, we're all using screens all day, all right? Some even all night. And our biology, meaning our eyes, our brain, these cameras called our eyes that pick up visual information, has not caught up to technology, right? So screens, computers, right? Screens have been around for a while. I'd say the late 90s, maybe mid 90s. I remember around 1994, I got my first desktop. So couple kids when I was in college had those. I graduated college in 94 and went to acupuncture school. That's when I got my first big PC. And that was the start of it. And for me, I know my vision went down right from there. That's when my prescription started increasing and I started having some issues because I was spending hours upon hours on end doing assignments and research on my computer. So fast forward, I'd probably say about 10 or 15 years ago, then we started having, tablets, cell phones, maybe about a decade ago became really popular. Before that, we had Blackberries, certainly tablets and LCD and screen TVs. So long and short, we spend a lot of time just over the past 15, 20 years. We've really moved into a screen generation. I have 3 boys. My youngest is 12. My oldest is 18. They all grew up on screens, right? And I'm sure if you have kids who are, grade school to middle school to high school, even in college now, it's probably the same for them. So the conversation here is that for, thousands and thousands of years that even humans have been modernized, we haven't had this technology. This technology is relatively brand new. So our biology, our eyes haven't caught up in a way to be able to deal with the stress, the specific electromagnetic frequencies and blue light stress that comes up that affects our vision. So we're going to talk about that a little bit now. I want to talk about blue light. All right. We're going to talk a little bit about UV radiation too, because I want to cover that inside this conversation. When we're talking about screens, the electromagnetic frequencies and the light spectrum is the blue light. All right. We can see right here in this diagram that we have near infrared, visible light. Then just below that is blue light between UVB and UVA rays. So this blue light is what it emits from screens. Again, from your desktops, from your laptops, from your phones, from your tablets, and from your TVs. So sitting in close proximity, you could see that this radiation, this blue light radiation, is coming off screens, and it is going through our eye, through our lens, and really impacting the retina, which is shown here, specifically the macula. All right. Unfortunately, it's I hope I'm wrong about this, but I think we're going to see an explosion of macular degeneration over the next 10, 20, 30 years, especially as the screen generation starts to get into their 40s and 50s. So maybe over the next 30 to 40 years, maybe 50 years, we're going to start to see as screeners, the screen generation approaches middle age, we're going to start to see the damaging effect of excessive screen use. So this is really what happens. It's this radiation, this blue light radiation in this spectrum that is what's doing the damage and causing the harm. And again, it's specifically impacting the macula. So I want to talk a little bit about UV radiation because all three are just below the light spectrum, right? We said that it was blue light, then UVB, then UVA radiation. So we see visible light obviously comes through right here, shown in the red, comes through the eyes, refracted and focused onto the retina so that we can actually see, right? That's how we see. Our rods and cones, our photoreceptors, receive the light and relay messages to the brain, the visual cortex, through the optic nerve so that we can actually make sense of the information coming in. UVA rays, there's actually three types of rays, A, B, and C. C are pretty irrelevant. So let's talk about UVA rays. UVA rays account for about 95% of the UV radiation that penetrate through the cornea to the retina. So UVA rays can also do a lot of damage to the retina, right? When you're a kid, I remember growing up in grade school, I was like, don't look at the sun, it could burn out your retina. Well, that's what they're talking about. They're talking about the UVA rays. This form of radiation can be exceptionally damaging to the retina and the macula of the back of the eye, which is why it's a good idea to use sunglasses when we're outside, especially for extended period of time, okay? The UVB rays penetrate just the ozone layer just enough to be absorbed by the cornea, which is in the front part of the eye, right? The cornea is the most exterior part of our eye, and they reflect from surfaces like the snow and water. So they can cause problems with the anterior part, specifically cataracts, all right? Also dry eyes, but it's the UV rays that can give you like eye sunburn. Sometimes your eyes turn red. If you had like maybe a day out on the slopes or a day out on the water, you may feel irritation of the front part of your eye. And you can even get early cataracts. People spend a lot of time on the water or on the slopes, are at greater risk for earlier cataracts because of these UVB rays that impact what's called the anterior compartment of the eye, the front part of the eye. Again, specifically the cornea and the lens. The lens is what oxidizes, and that has to be replaced through what's called cataract surgery. And again, UVC rays are absorbed in the ozone layer, so not really an issue when it comes to impacting our vision. So let's move on and talk a little bit more about this. I just want to bring this together for you guys in an image here. So the dangers of the light in the eye, the UV light or the UVB light, again, remember, affects the front of the eye. All right, this is what you really need to know. So when we want to protect against cataracts, if you're early stage cataracts, you want to make sure that your sunglasses that you get, that you're wearing outside, have specifically stated that they're UVB protected. Right? That's if you're dealing with cataracts or anterior issues like iritis, uveitis, scleritis, iritis, maybe conjunctivitis, anything that's in the front of the eye. Now we're dealing with the back of the eye, the choroid, the retina, the fovea, the optic nerve, right? Some of these neurological conditions. You want to make sure that you have both blue light protection. Glasses have blue light protection. Either you're going to get them on Amazon, right? They go over your eyes or glasses, or like my glasses here, you may or may not be able to see them, but there's a little slight blue purple tinge to my glasses when they come up against blue light. And that was done by my optician where I get my glasses, and that's a coating that pretty much any optician can put on your glasses. And we recommend that for everybody. Even if you're reading, anytime you're on screens, guys, I don't care if it's your phone, you really should be using UV blue light protection. UV protection when you're in the sun, blue light protection when you're on screens. And again, you can either have your glasses coated, the lenses coated on your glasses, or you can, for like 20 or 30 bucks, just go to Amazon and get a pair of clear non-prescription blue light glasses. So we also know that when we're out in the sun, and if we have optic nerve or retinal issues or macular issues, things like macular degeneration, retinitis pigmentosa, optic nerve issues like glaucoma or optic nerve atrophy, or maybe even multiple sclerosis, any of these neuroinflammatory or neurodegenerative eye conditions, we want to make sure that our sunglasses are UVA protected. So when you're shopping for sunglasses, it's a really good idea to ask and find out if they're UVA and UVB protected. Okay. Now I see somebody is asking a question about polarized glasses. So polarized glasses will just help with the contrast. I use them when I'm out boating or I'm out snowboarding and I need a little bit more light contrast. It helps with the clarity in the vision. It just makes things a little clearer and more brighter, a little bit more with the HD vision. So that won't really help too much protect your eyes. But of course, if you're out, to protect injury and just make a safer, clearer, crisper visual experience for you. But for sure, again, the sunglasses that are UVA and UVB protected when you're out in the sun and when you're on screens, blue light protection always. Okay, even your kids. I know sometimes it could be a little bit of a battle. But set a good example, when you're on screens, even if you're on your phone, put blue light protection glasses on. If you're sitting in front of the TV, whether you're close, if you're far away, not so much of a big deal. It's just more when you're on top of your phones and your screens and stuff like that. So what I want to talk to you about is the effect of this blue light radiation and UV radiation, which is a process called oxidative stress. Solar radiation and computer blue light radiation causes free radical damage, which when it becomes out of control or gets excessive, it can cause oxidative stress, which is basically accelerated aging, where these free radicals, which are unpaired electrons, will attack your body and damage all the way down to your DNA, guys. Yes, it can be an epigenetic stress factor that is an external stress that can actually mutate your gene sequence and actually cause a new expression of gene mutation and disease process. So this oxidative stress goes all the way down. It affects your organs, your tissues, your cells, your DNA. And again, it's accelerated aging. It's a form of rusting. So aging is oxidative stress. We oxidize and dry out. That's pretty much what happens as we age. So in order to slow this process, we want to use antioxidants, right? There are specific types of antioxidants that we're going to talk to about. Again, the focus of this talk is on the blue light protection. Just because I have you guys here, and I have you as a captive audience, I do want to talk a little bit about protecting the anterior compartment too, since we talked about that, and it's certainly relevant there. But again, the oxidative stress that we're really talking about is to protect against the blue light, the nerve cells, protect the rods and cones, the photoreceptors against this UV radiation and also the blue light radiation. Okay, so carotenoid antioxidants are what we use to protect the eyes. They protect specifically from blue light, also UV radiation. All right, this is the carotenoid antioxidants protect the nerve layer and the vascular layer, the back of the eye. The choroid, which is the microvasculature, the mini blood vessels that feed the retina. Also, they protect the nerve cells themselves, the optic nerve and the brain. Okay. Now, the function of carotenoid antioxidants is to protect the eyes and skin from UV radiation. All right. They also protect the retina against blue light radiation. So it's very, very important that these carotenoid antioxidants will protect against skin cancer, and they will help mitigate the damage that you've had, age spots, premature aging of the skin, wrinkles. It really, you guys, any of you guys are into beauty and health, you'll see a lot of the skin beauty products have retinol in it, right? And that's a form of carotenoid antioxidant that protects the skin against sun damage. So we know science shows us that these carotenoid antioxidants have this dualistic function of protecting the skin and the eyes from this UV radiation, blue light. So now that you guys have that, let's move forward and talk about carotenoid antioxidants. So again, they protect the retina, the brain, and the skin, right? This is really good. That's why UV radiation will also affect our skin, right? And we want to wear sunglasses when we're spending a lot of time out in the sun. We also want to cover up if we're going to be outside in direct sunlight for extensive period of times. So what foods and supplements are carotenoid antioxidants? Well, I'm going to mention some of them here, but if you go online and do a Google search, you can come up with a whole list of different foods and supplements that are rich in carotenoid antioxidants. Some examples are vitamin A, beta-carotene, retinol palmitate, lutein, zeaxanthin, astaxanthin, mesozeaxanthin, lycopene, goji berries. Those are Chinese wolf berries called goji. And these are leafy green vegetables, spinach, kale, okra, collard greens. These are all different foods loaded with carotenoid antioxidants, pumpkin, squash, carrots, of course, right? Yams, papaya. These are all foods they're really a high quality, great source of carotenoid antioxidants. So what we want to do is combine supplementation with whole food sources of carotenoid antioxidants. Okay, so carotenoid antioxidants are so important for my patients. As you guys know, I specialize in ophthalmology, specifically neuro-ophthalmology, that we actually test our patients when they come in. We check them for their carotenoid antioxidant levels. I want to see on a scale, where are they? How much protection do they have? Because that lets me know, A, are they taking supplements? And if they are they taking supplements that are actually working? And what I mean by that is, are they being absorbed and utilized by the body to protect the retinas and the skin? Also the brain and the heart, they have that function as well. Also, are they taking enough, right? So there's research out there and you take, it says take 4 milligrams or 20 milligrams, whatever it is now, to take your daily recommended dosage of carotenoid antioxidants. I don't really care what that dosage is, because everybody's usage of carotenoid antioxidants is different, right? Free radicals that can break down carotenoid antioxidants can come from smoking or pollution, right? If you smoke, if you vape occasionally, cigars, cigarettes, cannabis, even vaping, nic vaping or CBD vaping, any type of vaping or smoking will chew up your carotenoid antioxidants. Also inflammation. So that means you could be overtraining, exercise, you're recovering. Do you have a chronic inflammatory condition? Do you have dysglycemia or things like diabetes or insulin issues? Do you have hypoglycemia or any metabolic or hormonal pro-inflammatory condition? Do you have, again, diabetes? Are you dealing with menopause? Do you have, are you recovering from COVID or Lyme or Epstein-Barr virus? Do you have latent viruses and bacterial infections in your body that are driving inflammation? Okay, these are major factors that chew up carotenoid antioxidants. Again, we talked about pollution, environmental, or all the crap in food, right? The pesticides, the food, the processed foods, the additives, the preservatives, GMOs for sure. Being overweight, also being underweight. If you're very low body in that low fat metabolism index, and you just don't have a lot of fat on you, or you're just working out too much, you're one of these like triathletes, you're oxidizing your body too much and burning too much, or you're just stressed out. Stress can consume a tremendous amount of carotenoid antioxidants. Also, are you out in the sun? Is it summertime? You're out on the beach boating, the beach, hanging out, just being outside. That UV radiation we talked about would show up your carotenoid antioxidants. Are you using a lot of screens? Are you studying? Are you researching? You're doing work. A lot of people from COVID were home and doing a lot of home screen work, right? Working on your computers from home. So that too can chew up your carotenoid antioxidants. When you get sick, when you catch a cold, your carotenoid antioxidants are going to be chewed up. So all these factors, okay? So what they do is the carotenoid antioxidants, if you guys look down to the reference point that I'm giving you here, like an apple, right? What happens is the apple has what's called fructose in it, which is the fruit sugar. And that sugar is very unstable. So if you cut an apple in half and you let it sit for a little while, what happens? It turns brown, because the sugar oxidizes, and eventually if you leave that apple long enough, it'll start to turn totally brown, then to mush, and then it will totally decompose. Okay, so without antioxidant protection, this is the same thing that happens to your retina and also your brain. Without the protection, it will continue to accelerate its progressive degeneration. Now, interestingly, for those of you guys who cook, if you ever made a fruit salad, what do you do to preserve, to make the fruit, or in this case, the apple, not turn brown? That's right. Somebody posted. You put lemon juice on it, right? Lemon juice is an antioxidant that stabilizes the fructose in fruit. So if you make a fruit salad the night before and put lemon juice on it, it won't turn brown, because you're managing the oxidative stress. And we know vitamin C is an antioxidant, which is found in ascorbic acid. So again, it's not a cooking class, but just you guys get the idea. The idea here is that we want to protect. We need to protect our eyes from the harsh elements, in this case, UV radiation and blue light. Okay. So again, this is just a study, and people ask, like, so in our clinic, when we do this what's called the S3 skin test to check for carotenoid antioxidants, they say, how can you check my skin to check for the carotenoid levels in my vision? I'm glad you asked. So this is the study that links that correlation between macular skin and serum carotenoids. Serum means blood. So we actually did this testing, and we found that because the body is using carotenoid antioxidants to protect from UV and blue light radiation, the two most vulnerable areas to UV radiation and blue light are the eyes. Therefore, the body, when we ingest carotenoid antioxidants, it's going to saturate the retina in the skin first, because that's its job, that's its function, that's what it's doing. So the research shows that when we check the skin levels of carotenoid antioxidants, that is also going to reflect the saturation levels in the retina. So easy way, before this test, we used to have to do a $500 serum test with patients. So now it's free test for all patients that come in. There's no charge, and we can monitor it usually every 4 to 6 months, even up to every year. Now, carotenoid antioxidants will take some time to saturate. So they are fat soluble. They take a little bit of time. So it can take 3 to 4 months to saturate your body with the appropriate levels of carotenoid antioxidants. And again, how do you know if you're taking too much? Your skin will actually start to turn a little bit orange. You actually look pretty healthy, like you had a tan. Now, one thing I want to mention here before we get into the specific foods that we're talking about is there's a lot of conversation about taking too much carotenoid antioxidants like vitamin A, retinol palmitate, causing liver damage. Now, I totally understand and appreciate, because these are fat soluble vitamins, that high doses, there might be some concern about an impact on the liver. So what I've done is I took that to heart. 20 years ago, when I started loading patients up on high doses of carotenoid antioxidants to protect the retinas, we actually checked that. So we had our patients do blood tests, specifically look at their liver enzymes called ALT and AST. When you guys do blood work, it's called a part of your comprehensive metabolic panel. When you do your blood work, the tests for your liver enzymes that reflect liver health or lack thereof are, again, called the ALT, AST liver enzymes. So those are the tests we're looking for. Of course, if somebody has a history of hepatitis or steatosis, which is fatty liver, or cirrhosis, where there is, without question, some impaired liver function, of course, we're going to proceed with caution. My strategy is to first heal the liver and clean that up, and have tools to do that. And we heal up the liver, and then we will start adding the carotenoid antioxidants to protect the retina. So there are different types of carotenoid antioxidants. Let's talk about them. There's the alpha carotene, which is found in carrots, pumpkins, winter squash, plantains, and collard greens. So these are really, really good food sources for you. Then we have beta carotene, which is also found in carrots, leafy greens, sweet potatoes, cantaloupe, and pumpkin, right? We're getting close to Halloween, pumpkin season. Love me pumpkin pie. One of my favorites. I'm not a big sweet tooth person, but pumpkin pie rocks. Then we have lycopene. All right, lycopene is most found in tomatoes. Now, here's a quick side to that. So we have tomatoes, we have papaya, we have grapefruit, and watermelon. With tomatoes, it is also a nightshade. So those of you guys with like retinitis pigmentosa or autoimmune related eye issues like Stargardt's, Usher's, rod cone dystrophy, retinitis pigmentosa, any of the uveitis, scleritis, even normal tension glaucoma or autoimmune optic nerve conditions, really consider eliminating nightshades, which includes tomatoes. So, but with this resource here, we know that tomatoes, although they are a good source of lycopene, they're not the only source. So we can look to things like papaya, grapefruit, and watermelon as additional sources for lycopene, because for sure they are going to be very useful when we're trying to have this full spectrum of nutritional carotenoid antioxidants. Then we have things like lutein and zeaxanthin, right? Again, leafy greens, summer, winter squash, Brussels sprouts, one of my personal favorites, and yellow corn for sure. And then we have, of course, the final cryptophytin. Say that 100 times. Pumpkin, papaya, and more sweet peppers. Okay, so these are your spectrum of different type of carotenoid antioxidants. So again, the take home here is that we want to blend and get different sources. So I don't really care. And I would not recommend that you get all of your sources from one source. Like, don't just take vitamin A or beta carotene. We want to, again, get all sources of carotenoid antioxidants, because inside these fruits and vegetables, there's other stuff. There's other antioxidants. There's fibers. There's a lot of nutrients in these whole foods that are going to amplify the benefits of health for you. So make sure you do that in addition to your supplements. So let's talk a little bit more specifically about nutritional supplements for retinal protection against radiation. So against the anterior part, we'll get into the posterior, the retina and photoreceptors. But when we're looking to protect the anterior part, again, for things like cataracts, protect the lens and cornea, if there's corneal dystrophies or cataracts, we want to use supplements like N-acetylcarnosine, NAC. That's just an oral supplement you could take. Then we could take NAC, a Can-C eye drops, right? That is NAC. Can-C is basically NAC. And these are precursors. NAC is a precursor to glutathione, right? Glutathione is a super antioxidant which protects the cornea and the lens and slows down things like cataracts. So we can take liposomal glutathione, not regular glutathione. If you just take regular glutathione, it'll be burned up in the stomach. You won't make any use of it. You're just wasting your money. Also, liposomal vitamin C. So liposomal means that it's encapsulated in a fat, and it takes it through your stomach to your liver so it can actually be used. It's more bioavailable to your body. So that's the liposomal idea behind this. So this thing's like liposomal glutathione, liposomal vitamin C, which take it through your digestive system to make it more bioavailable. You don't need to take as much, because what you're taking when you take the supplements in these liposomal forms, I spelled liposomal wrong there. I just caught that. Thank you. So those supplements would be really, really useful for holding off. I've even seen people with early stage cataracts reverse cataracts with Can-C drops. Didn't know that was possible until I had cases that came into clinic where they went to their eye doctors and they said, "You don't have cataracts anymore. I guess we're mistaken." So that's for the anterior compartment. Again, that's where the UV radiation affects the front part of the eye. So then blue light, right? We talked earlier about vitamin A, retinopalmitate, beta-carotene, lutein, zeaxanthin, mesozeaxanthin, astaxanthin, etc. Also, make sure you get your food sources, your leafy green vegetables, all the food sources we just talked about earlier. Also, we've found that our Canavision CBD product, CBD specifically, can be tremendously beneficial in terms of its antioxidant properties to both the anterior and posterior compartment of the eye. It can help with the front of the eye, reducing cataracts and things like corneal dystrophies. And it also is very anti-inflammatory, neuroprotective, and a very powerful antioxidant for your posterior compartment, your retinal cells, your macula, your optic nerve, and also your brain. So this is why we created the Canavision product, and I highly recommend it for eye issues, especially if you guys are dealing with inflammatory issues. Any itises that you guys are dealing with, if you have light sensitivity, if you have flashes, anything like that. If you have light sensitivity, guys, you definitely have inflammation going on in either the retina, eye, or the brain. So do yourself a favor, get yourself on some Canavision, some CBD. It is the most powerful anti-inflammatory natural product out there, okay? CBD, high potency, full spectrum CBD, mimics a steroid. That's right. It mimics a steroid without the negative side effects. It's really, really powerful. So before we start wrapping up, another thing I wanted to talk to you guys about is this 20-20-20 rule for digital eye strain. This is going to really pay you guys dividends if you use it long term to help keep your eyes healthy when you're using screens for a prolonged period of time. What do? I set my timer. If I know I'm on screens for a while, not in this case because I don't want to interrupt our regularly scheduled program here, but when I'm doing work, or I know I'm going to be writing a paper or writing a presentation like I did for this, I know I'm going to be on the computer for a while, I'll set my timer on my phone for 20-minute increments. And what I'll do is use this 20-20-20 rule to help prevent this eye strain that I get, and I'm sure some of you get, at least some of you get, if not most of you get. So the rule is pretty simple. It says for every 20 minutes spent looking at a screen, a person should and could look at something 20 feet away for 20 seconds. So it pretty much looks like this. Typing, typing, typing. Okay, alarm went off, set my timer for 20 minutes, or count to 20 and just look at something that's about 20 feet away. Now, if you don't have something, you're not in a room that has 20 feet away, look outside the window, or look at something smaller, right? And try to focus on it. So following this rule is a great way to remember to take frequent breaks, right? To rest your eyes. Too much computer eye use can strain your eyes because you're not only does the blue light affect your eyes, but you're staring, your posture is not great, your breath holding, and your eyes are fixed. Our eyes are not meant by design to be fixed at one plane. We're supposed to be scanning. Healthy eyes are constantly scanning our environments, right? We're still designed biologically as if we're coming out of the trees looking for predators, looking for food, just scanning our environment, right? Looking for threats, looking for food, looking for others, tribe members, stuff like that. So keep that in mind. That's the way our wiring is, our brains and our physiology is designed. So again, here's just a little quick reminder. If you guys want to screenshot this, feel free to do so. Take a 20-minute break, 20 minutes, and just, guys, cut this out or take this thing and just stick it on your computer. Or just put 20, put a sticky on your computer that says 20. Again, or just set your alarms. So there are two supplements. There are a lot of good supplements for the eyes, but we're talking about blue light protection, all right, and protection from UV radiation. Protection from UV radiation all across the board. We got two major things. Protect our eyes with UV and blue light radiation glasses. We talked about that. When you're outside, UVA, UVB sunglasses. When we're on screens, blue light protection, either on your specs or if you get clear glasses and just put them either over your glasses, or you can just wear them when you're on screens. You also want to set your phones to the blue light night mode. It's going to make your screen look a little bit yellow. As far as supplements go, the AccuVision programs that we have are some supplements we offer for blue light and UV light protection. The Keratinovision is my favorite supplement for this. It provides protection from blue light, also UVA and UVB rays. Okay. Also, the Can-C eye drops, which again is the NAC drops. That is a precursor to glutathione. You put these drops in your eyes either before and or after you've been spending extensive times on screens, or if you're just kind of like, you kind of get that after you've been on screens for a little while. This is a good practice for eye health. All right. We're all using screens. So do yourself a favor, get some Can-C drops, some NAC drops. I think there's a new company. I like Can-C, but there may be some new NAC drops coming out. I can't remember off the top of my head, but you guys can do some research. The Can-C is great, but my only issue with Can-C is they go on back order so much because they're kind of the only company, I think. Like I said, there may be a new company coming out, but they're the biggest company that creates these NAC eye drops, and they're very reputable. I believe they're out of Russia or Poland, but they run out of stock fairly often. We're usually pretty good with keeping them in stock. But anyway, you guys can order online or go to our website. The Keratinovision is my formulation. It's available at eyehealthinstitute.com, and we have a sale for the next week going on. So if you guys go to Eye Health Institute this week only, we're running a sale on Keratinovision. So I believe it's the more you buy, the more discount you get. I think it's like one bottle is $5 off, 2 bottles is $10 off, 3 bottles $15 off, so on and so forth. So the more you buy, the more you get off. So we don't have a lot of these left in stock. So for this offer, get them while they're hot. I'm just saying that the offer is done Friday. So if you want to get the discount, they are one of our more expensive supplements just because the ingredients in these are kind of hard to get, and they are expensive, especially now. Everything's gone up in price. So we're trying to keep the price down for you guys. But if you are interested in getting this, please jump on that. Go to our website, again, eyehealthinstitute.com. And I don't even believe there's no discount code. You don't need to punch anything in there. So just go there and the discount will be available to you for the rest of this week. So again, this whole talk was about protecting your vision. I really hope you guys take this seriously. Just more importantly, because it's just that important. I want you guys to take this seriously, to value your vision. And what I said earlier on in this talk, that there is going to be, unfortunately, my guess, again, I'm not a sage or a prophet, but knowing the damage of the technology that blue light and UV rays have on the retina, and the amount of time that we've started to use that we've been using screens, we're certainly going to have some issues with that, especially for those who are not taking carotenoid antioxidants to protect their eyes from blue light and UV radiation. but also those who are choosing not to make use of blue light glasses to protect their vision. So, and of course, giving yourself a break from screens is never a bad idea. So I hope you guys enjoyed this presentation. Thank you for joining us. Again, this is Dr. Andy Rosenfarb with AccuVision Acupuncture, where your vision is our mission. Have a great evening, morning, afternoon, or wherever you are. Take care, guys. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.